In the film Limitless, Bradley Cooper plays a character where he's a failing writer, struggling to pay his rent, and he's just been dumped by his partner. He lives in a rundown apartment. On the outside looking in, he looks like his life is not going in the direction that he had hoped. Until he bumps into an old friend where he's offered an experimental drug, a clear pill that would unlock 100% potential of his brain. And now that he's fueled on NZT, he reacts quickly, almost predicting the near future. He has the ability to read super fast, retain information, his skill acquisition is almost instantaneous, and he's able to bring things to the top of his mind and regurgitate that into a cocktail of useful information. He later learns how to trade on the stock market, attracting the attention of some big players in the game. Sounds great, doesn't it? Although NZT doesn't exist in real life, I definitely think there's some lessons and exercises that can be learned in order to unlock the mindset to be truly limitless. In this video, I'm going to go over 5 skills that you need to possess in order to reach this stage. Declutter. Now this may sound like an odd one, but bear with me. Now the first thing he does when he realises his newfound ability when he enters his apartment is that he declutters. He tidies up his living space. Living a more minimal existence is on the rise. More and more people are realising that all this stuff that we accumulate and buy don't ultimately mean anything. They don't really hold any weight or make you any happier. Organising what you have has been scientifically proven to reduce stress. Creating more space, for me at least, gives me a feeling of more peace. Why, you ask? Well, I would say it's less visually distracting. There's more things to worry about or stare or even pick up to even distract you while you're trying to do some work. Think about the last time you went to the city or in any type of financial district. They're all wearing suits, and this is to serve a purpose. It's to be boring. You don't want somebody in your office wearing a bright coloured blazer. This is just distracting. So this serves as a purpose. When things are less visually distracting, you can actually concentrate more. The benefits of decluttering also is that you can find things quicker. Have you been there when you're struggling to find your keys or something and you spend at least 10 to 15 minutes trying to find that item? If you had a dedicated space where you knew it would always be, that would save you the time and stress of looking for that particular item. So whether you're holding on to things for attachment or security, it's beneficial to try and declutter some goods. And this will also force you to ask the question whether you really need those items. Ask yourself the if-when question when doing decluttering. What if I need this again? What would happen? And is this something that could be easily purchased again if needed? And how often do I actually use it? Asking yourself these questions should help you weigh up the options of what you should do. Procrastination. In the film, Bradley Cooper is a failing writer. Before taking NZT, he can't seem to muster up the energy to put pen to paper. But now he can take action. If you can get over procrastination, this will save you time and frustration, as this is something that we can all get dragged into. And when you're done procrastinating, you're probably wondering where all that time went. So how do we get to a point where we stop kicking ourselves and act upon what we know what we should be doing? When you choose to procrastinate or when you notice, use the 5-second rule. So count down from 5 seconds down to 1. I find this adds a little bit of a bumper in between time, and it actually causes me to ask myself, do I really want to do this particular action, whether it's watching Netflix, going on YouTube, or getting your phone out? For me, sometimes I don't even realise when I'm procrastinating and 5 minutes have gone. But imagine adding up 5 to 10 minutes over the course of a few days, a week, a month. That all adds up. It's also worth noticing when we perceive a task to be difficult, we have a tendency to push tasks back to another time or even day. In our minds, we build barriers of pain of what the task is perceived to be, so we think it's going to be painful when we're actually doing these tasks. To combat this, use micro commitments. Try and do a particular task for 20 minutes and set a timer. I did this the other day when I was trying to learn Spanish. I just couldn't get round to doing it. So I set myself a timer for 20 minutes, and after, I actually ended up doing it for over an hour, which I was quite surprised at. Sometimes getting over the initial barrier could be the most difficult part. Skill acquisition. By far, I think this is the most important skill to obtain in your arsenal. So when it comes to any type of personal growth, I do really think it's important to be constantly trying to mould yourself, to have the intent to learn. And this is something that I am personally doing myself. Continually always trying to learn skills, whether that is video editing, learning Spanish, or simply just learning things through books. In the film, Bradley Cooper acquires a language within a week, learning Italian. Although in real life this would be wonderful, Josh Kaufman, the author of The First 20 Hours, How to Learn Anything Fast, specialises in how to master skills. He explains when you usually try something at first, you suck, and you're usually bad at it. When I started learning Spanish, it was almost painful, having to constantly struggle to articulate yourself. And after a while, you learn how to push past that frustration and learn how to commit. And this ties nicely with what Josh Kaufman says, which is forget about the idea of mastering a skill, as this may be counterproductive. It could lead to a significant barrier when trying to explore new skills. Instead, focus on performing the skills well enough in order to produce the result that is meaningful. So in my case, I wanted to be able to hold a Spanish conversation without having to look at Google Translate. So that meant letting go of the idea of having perfect Spanish with the perfect accent and making 0 errors and always knowing what verbs or idioms mean. So whether it's professional or for a hobby, try to enjoy the process and not fixate on the end goal of mastering the task at hand. Conquer your fears. Bradley Cooper also seemingly conquers his fears in an instant. In the film, he describes it as if he wasn't moving forward, he felt like he was going to explode. Then there's a scene of him jumping over the cliff, fearless, with his friends even still doubting him that he would jump. Think about all the opportunities that you've passed up because you've been fearful of the outcome. It's probably been quite a few. If someone told you that if you went for your goal that you're not going to fail, would you do it? Of course you would. Fear is by far one of the biggest obstacles stopping people from achieving their goals. And what we could do to try and combat this is try to mentally release the control. In our minds, we subconsciously try to protect ourselves from any type of failure. We are creatures of habit, routines, and predictable outcomes. And challenging your fears is generally going to be the unknown. And as Will Smith says, the best things in life are on the other side of fear. So you've probably heard this one before. Try something new to get out your comfort zones and do something every day, no matter how small it is, that you're fearful of. If you do something every day, you're more likely to tackle your fears, one that is large enough that is holding you back. And I've been in that situation where I've wanted to do something and I've been paralysed by fear, and then ultimately I haven't actually done anything about it because I've just been overthinking. And like many patterns of bad behaviour, I ignored it. And it got to a point where the pain and frustration of not achieving my goals got too much where I had to tackle it. And in the film, Bradley Cooper's pain was far more immediate, which forced him to act more quickly. And the quicker you try something, the faster a result that you're going to get. And lastly, I want to delve into something called the flow state. This is not really a skill, but this is more a state of mind. And this could be described as being in a state of complete focus where all your ideas are clear. You're in a moment of zen and you can put pen to paper and simply just work. It's a moment of ultimate productivity. And in the film, Bradley Cooper describes it as you know what you need to do and how. Have you ever been doing something that you love and then you've looked at the time and an hour has passed, but it's only felt like 5 minutes in your head? You was probably in the flow state, being in the zone, call it what you want. It's a state where I try to achieve when I set out to do some work. And whatever I'm doing, it's actually at the fine line of challenging. It's not too difficult and it's not too hard. Usually when things are too hard, you get bored because your mind says, I need a break. So whatever you're doing, you need to find that fine balance. So to get to this state, you need to eliminate distractions. You need to figure out when your energy is the most highest. So whether that's in the morning where people haven't woken up, or you've just taken a coffee or tea and you feel you can really work at it, or maybe it's in the evening time where things are more quieter and you tend to be more calmer. Work on one specific task, because it's highly unlikely that you're going to reach a state of flow if you keep on switching from task to task. Overall, what I've described are 5 areas that you could try and improve on if you're willing to challenge yourself. If you're willing to push yourself on the boundaries of what you've previously thought that you could achieve. Anyways guys, I really do hope you enjoyed this video today. If you like this video, please smash the like button, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and I'll see you guys in another one. Bye bye.